we discussed about Ansible Tower. What is the purpose of Ansible Tower? What is the purpose of Ansible Tower? Can you guys respond? What is the purpose of Ansible Tower? To manage our configurations using GUI. So general, we installed Ansible software and we have created Ansible scripts, playbooks we have created. We executed those playbooks manually from CLI. If you want to manage the scripts, if you want to manage the host inventories dynamically by using a web application, then you can go for Ansible Tower. Ansible Tower is basically GUI based application where we can manage Ansible configurations. Where we can manage Ansible configurations. Very good. So today we are starting with another software in DevOps culture. I can say another tool that we are going to start in DevOps. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know once you guys are able to see my screen. Is my screen visible for everybody? Is my screen visible for everybody? Shall I start the session now? Very good.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to Ashok IT. Today, we are going to start our discussion related to Terraform. As part of this session, we are going to understand what is Terraform, comparison between Terraform and Ansible. What are the differences between Terraform and Ansible? How to install Terraform in Linux operating system, architecture of Terraform, how the Terraform is going to execute, what commands we are going to use to execute our Terraform scripts, syntaxes of those commands, how to write Terraform script and how to execute those scripts, then conclusion. So this is the agenda for our today's session. First of all, let's understand what is this Terraform. Terraform is an open source software created by HashiCorp company. Terraform is an open source software created by HashiCorp company, and this software implemented using Go programming language. So we have seen several softwares earlier like Jenkins, SonarQube, Ansible, those softwares we have seen, right? Jenkins implemented by using Java, Ansible implemented by using Python. Here, Terraform software implemented by using Go programming language. Which company developed this Terraform? It is developed by a company called HashiCorp. What is the main purpose of this Terraform? Terraform is an infrastructure as a code software. It is called as IAC software, infrastructure as a code. So what is the meaning of infrastructure as a code? When we are setting up DevOps process, DevOps pipelines for our application, we need several machines. We need some machines for web servers. We need some machines for DB servers, machines for Sonar, machines for logs, machines for Jenkins, Sonar, logs, and web application deployment. In order to manage our application infrastructure, we need to create several machines. As of now, how we created those machines? We are using AWS cloud. In this AWS cloud, we are having EC2 service, Elastic Compute Cloud. We are going to this EC2 instance. Here we are using GUI in order to create virtual machines. So creating a virtual machine is a 7-step process. Choosing the AMI, choose instance type, configure instance, add storage, add the tag, configure security group. And before going to create this EC2 instance, we need to set up key pairs, and we have to set up VPC network. We have to set up private subnet, public subnets, internet gateways. Lot of things we need to do in this AWS cloud using this GUI in order to set up one virtual machine. We need to create network by using VPC, and we need to create subnets. We need to do the VPC sizing, private subnet, public subnet. We need to add internet gateway to access the subnets, NAT gateways, right? NACL for security purpose, security groups, and we are going to set up elastic IPs for static IP. So lot of things we need to do manually using this GUI in order to set up machine. Is one machine sufficient to set up the infrastructure for our project? No. With one machine, we cannot set up the infrastructure. We need several web servers. So several machines we need to install the web servers to run our application with load balancing. We need several machines to set up our database server, right? And we need machines to install Jenkins master node, Jenkins slave nodes. We need machines to install Sonar server. We need to have a machine to configure logs of our application. Prod environment will be available. Non-prod environment will be available in the real time. Non-prod means dev environment, sit environment, UAT environments will be available. To deploy the application for the live, we will go for a production environment. So in order to set up this non-prod prod environment with all this infrastructure, we need several machines. Those machines we have to create manually by using this GUI. First select AMI, select instance type, configure the instance details, then go to network configuration, then go to storage configuration, then add the tags, then configure security group, then finally launch the machine. If it is one machine, we can launch that machine easily by spending 5 to 10 minutes of time. But for my application, I need 100 machines like this. For my application, I need 100 machines like this, 50 machines only for web servers. I want to run my application with 50 instances. So 50 EC2 instances we need to create. I want to deploy my database in multiple machines. I want to do the load balancing for my database. DB servers are required. Prod DB servers, non-prod DB servers, right? And I want to install Jenkins master, Jenkins slaves, Sonar, non-prod Sonar, prod Sonar. So we need several machines in order to set up our infrastructure. Here, instead of we are creating these machines manually with this GUI, we can automate that by using Terraform. By using Terraform, you can write the code to create those machines. How beautiful it is. If you want to create 100 machines, just 5 lines of code we are going to write. If we execute that 5 lines of code, Terraform is going to create those machines for us. That means whatever the infrastructure that we need for our project, we can write the code using Terraform to create that infrastructure. That's why Terraform is called as infrastructure as a code software. Terraform is an open source software created by HashiCorp organization. This is software developed by using Go programming language. What is the main purpose of this Terraform? Terraform is used to create infrastructure with the code. Infrastructure is the code, nothing but. It is the process of the managing our infrastructure in a file. I will create one file. In that file, I will write the code. That file is called Terraform script file. Terraform script file I'm going to create. In that script file, I will write the code to create 100 virtual machines in the AWS cloud. Okay. Not only in the AWS, you can use Terraform with almost all cloud providers available in the market. Terraform supports AWS, Azure, GCP, OpenStack, etc. Not only for AWS cloud, Terraform can be used for all the clouds, almost all the clouds which are available in the market. So earlier, if we want to set up the infrastructure, we are using AWS Management Console. We are logging into our account. We are creating the machines manually. Now we can automate this machines creation, whatever the servers that we need, web servers, DB server, Sonar server, Jenkins server, log server. What are the servers? What are the machines we need for our project? Those machines can be created by writing script. For that, we are going to use Terraform. I hope you got the concept. What is Terraform? Terraform is used to create the infrastructure using a code. That's why people will call as people will call this Terraform as IAC software, infrastructure as a code software. Okay. Now this Terraform is going to use a language called HCL. Sir, how to write that code? Do we need to know Java to write the Terraform script? Do we need to know Python? Do we need to know Go programming language? Terraform implemented by using Go programming language. So do we need to learn the Go programming language? No. Go programming language, they use it to develop the Terraform software. You no need to learn the Go programming language to use the Terraform, right? To write the Terraform scripts, they provided their own programming language called HCL, HashiCorp Configuration Language. HCL, HashiCorp Configuration Language provided by HashiCorp organization to write the Terraform scripts. Terraform scripts nothing but code. That code is used to create the infrastructure in the cloud platform. Are you guys able to understand? Next. Sir, already we have Ansible. Then why we need to go for Terraform? What is the difference between Terraform and Ansible? Terraform developed by HashiCorp. Ansible is under license of Red Hat now. Terraform is used to create the infrastructure. For example, I want one machine. I want one machine. I want to create one instance, one server to install the web server, to install the DB server, to install Sonar, to install Jenkins. So in order to install any software, first we need a machine. Those machines can be created by using Terraform. Once a machine is created by using Terraform, we can configure the softwares. Software's configuration we can do by using Ansible. If the servers are created, then we can use the Ansible to install softwares in those servers. I want to install Jenkins. Instead of installing the Jenkins manually, we can use Ansible playbook to install Jenkins in one machine. But who will create that machine? Is Ansible going to create the machine, or Ansible will just install the software in the existing machine? That is the difference. Ansible is used to install the softwares or install the applications or deploy the applications in the existing servers. If you have a computer, if you have a virtual machine, in that virtual machine, we can do the configuration management by using Ansible. Ansible is used for software provisioning. Like I want to install Git in one Linux machine. I want to install Maven in the Linux machine. I want to install Jenkins, or I want to copy some files to my virtual machines. I want to update some software in all the web servers in my application. If the servers are already created, then we can use Ansible to manage configurations of those servers. But who will create the servers first? As of now, we are creating the servers manually using AWS Management Console. Choose the AMI, choose the storage, choose the security group, choose the network, then choose the key pair, then create the machine. That machine's creation can be done by using Terraform. So first we will use the Terraform to create our infrastructure, whatever the network we need in the AWS, VPC, whatever S3 buckets we need, what are the machines we need. All that infrastructure can be created by using Terraform. Once the infrastructure is created, we can install the softwares, we can do configuration management in our machines by using Ansible. Are you guys able to understand the difference between Terraform software and Ansible software? Terraform developed by HashiCorp company. It is developed by using Go programming language. Terraform is used to create infrastructure in the cloud platforms. We have AWS cloud, we have Azure cloud, we have GCP cloud. In AWS, I want to host my application. To host my application, I need infrastructure. As of now, we are creating the infrastructure manually. Create 10 instances for web servers, create 10 instances for DB servers, create 5 instances for Jenkins master and slave, create 2 instances for Sonar, prod environment, non-prod environment. Whatever the infrastructure we are creating manually through GUI, that can be created by writing a code. For that, we are using Terraform. Once the machines are created, in those machines, I want to install some softwares. Instead of installing the softwares manually by connecting to the machines, we can automate that configuration management in our machines by using Ansible. So Terraform is used to create the infrastructure, and Ansible is used to manage configurations required for our machines. Are you guys clear with this? Are you guys clear with this? In the Terraform, we are going to write the script by using HCL, that is HashiCorp configuration language to write the script. In the Ansible, we are going to write the playbooks by using YAML. In the Ansible, we will write the playbooks using YAML to manage configurations. Configuration management, nothing but installing a server, installing a software, updating the software, deleting the software, copying the files from one machine to another machine, taking the data backup, server restart. All these things comes under configuration management. For software provisioning, we will use Ansible. For infrastructure provisioning, we will use Terraform. Infrastructure provisioning, software's provisioning, both are different. Infrastructure provisioning means creating the machines, creating the infrastructure. Software's provisioning means we are going to install the softwares in the existing servers. Are you guys able to understand the difference between Terraform and Ansible? Are you guys able to understand difference between Terraform and Ansible? Right? Fine. Sir, in the AWS, we are already having one service called CloudFormation, which is used to create the infrastructure. Without using GUI, we can go for CloudFormation in the AWS. So here, there is a concept called CloudFormation in the AWS. Create and manage resources with the templates. Already in the AWS, CloudFormation is available. Then why we need to go for Terraform? CloudFormation will support only in the AWS. CloudFormation will support only in the AWS to create the infrastructure. Terraform supports almost all cloud platforms. By using Terraform, not only in AWS, you can create the infrastructure. You can do infrastructure provisioning in almost all cloud platforms. For example, your project using Azure. In Azure cloud, we can do the infrastructure provisioning by using Terraform. Suppose some other project using GCP, Google Cloud. By using Terraform, we can do infrastructure provisioning in the GCP also. Terraform is not only for AWS. Terraform supports almost all cloud platforms. AWS CloudFormation means it is only for AWS cloud, not for others. Terraform is for multiple cloud platforms. That's why Terraform is having lot of demand in the market for infrastructure provisioning. Terraform is for infrastructure provisioning, Ansible for software provisioning. So Terraform is used to create the infrastructure. I mean to say machines. Servers we are going to create. Server means a machine, guys, not Jenkins server. So in order to install the Jenkins, we need one machine. Machine will be created by using Terraform. In that machine, Jenkins will be installed by using Ansible. So Ansible is for configuration management. Terraform is for infrastructure management. Very good. Let's move on. Now, how to install this Terraform software? Okay. So Terraform is used to manage the infrastructure in the cloud. So you need to have an account in one cloud platform like AWS cloud or Azure cloud or GCP cloud. Here I'm going to use AWS cloud to demonstrate this Terraform. Okay. So once you have AWS account, by default, when you create a account, that by default that account will become root account. Okay, but in order to use the Terraform, we need to have IAM account, identity and access management account. We need to create in the AWS with the programmatic access, because we are going to write the Terraform script in order to create the infrastructure in our machines. Okay, in order to execute these scripts in the AWS cloud, we need to have a user account with the programmatic access. In AWS, we can create IAM user with the programmatic access. When we create IAM user with the programmatic access, AWS will generate secret key and access key for that account. Using that secret key and access key, we are going to execute Terraform scripts in our AWS cloud. Using the Terraform script, we can create the infrastructure. So what are the prerequisites that you need to have? You need to have your account in any one of the cloud platform. In that platform, you need to have a IAM user account with the programmatic access with the secret key and access key. By using them, we can create Terraform scripts. We can execute the scripts. By using those credentials, we can execute the scripts. Now, here I have given commands to install Terraform. Okay, so before going to do that, first let me take one EC2 instance and let me install Terraform software. Then I will create IAM user account in my AWS. I will note down secret key and access key. Okay, first go to our AWS management console. We need to create one machine manually to install Terraform. Once we install the Terraform, then the remaining machines can be created by using Terraform. Okay, go to EC2, launch one instance. I'm going to choose Red Hat Linux, free tier eligible, select T2 micro, which is a free tier eligible, configure instance details. I'm going with the default VPC. Storage, by default, we are getting 10 GB for Red Hat Linux. Tags, let me add a name. It is my Terraform server. This instance name I'm giving as Terraform server. Security groups, choose the existing security group, review and launch. I'm choosing my existing key pair, select it, launch instances. Now let's go to this instance. Terraform server is getting started. Okay, meanwhile, let us create one IAM user. We need IAM user with programmatic access to run our Terraform scripts. Go to IAM service. Go to IAM service, identity and access management in AWS. Here already one user is available. Let me create one user. Create add users. Add users. Username. Let me give this username as demo user. Here you can see one option. How you want to provide the access for this user? Do you want to provide console access or programmatic access? You can provide both also, but for Terraform, this programmatic access is mandatory. So I'm selecting this programmatic access, click on next permissions. Now, what that IAM user can do in our AWS cloud account. Okay, I'm going to attach some existing policies. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to create EC2 instance by using Terraform. So this IAM user should have access for EC2. Amazon EC2 full access I am providing. Amazon EC2 full access I am providing. Tags, tag name, optional, review, yes. Demo user is creating with the EC2 full access. That means that IAM user can manage EC2 service. Access key ID, secret access key got generated. We can note down this access key ID and secret key access. We can even download them also. CSV file is available. Click on download. So this file got download it. Let me open this. You can copy from here or you can download the CSV file. Okay. So I have downloaded access key and secret access key ID, secret access key available. We need them in order to run our Terraform scripts. Okay, fine. So with this, one EC2 instance created to install Terraform software and one IAM user also created with the programmatic access. I have access key ID and a secret access key. Fine. Go back to our EC2. See the status of that EC2 instance, which we named as Terraform server. Yes, it started. Let's connect to this EC2 by using public IP. Copy this public IP. I'm using Mobile Extreme software session SSH connection I am making to this VM. Default user EC2-user PEM file. I used Linux PEM file. Use that Linux PEM file to connect with this. Yes, okay, connected. Present working directory EC2 user. Who am I? My username is EC2 user. Now, in this machine, I want to install Terraform software. So in order to execute Terraform scripts, we need to install the Terraform software. So in order to install the Terraform, we can take the commands from Terraform website, HashiCorp, Terraform by HashiCorp. Here they have given download option. If you want to download this Terraform for Windows, we have download links directly. If you want to download the Terraform, if you want to install the Terraform in Windows, you can download and install them. If you want to install the Terraform in Linux, so they have given the option to install in the Linux. In the Linux, as we know, package managers will be different in the Linux flavors. If you are using EC2 instance with Ubuntu flavor, then you need to execute these commands. If you are using Amazon Linux, then you need to go for these commands. If you are going for Red Hat RHEL, then you need to go for these commands. Okay, so I am using Red Hat VM in AWS. So these commands I need to execute to install Terraform. Sudo yum install -y yum utils. Okay, execute it. Sudo means super user permission we are giving to install yum utils. Once it is done, then you can config this repository to install Terraform. Copy this second command. It's taking some time. Let's wait. Yes, completed. Then execute the second command. We are adding the package manager of HashiCorp to our repository. Added that repository. Finally, this command is going to install Terraform. Sudo yum -y install Terraform. We already added the package manager. Then by using that package manager, we are installing Terraform. Right. Terraform is getting installed, completed. Once it is installed, we can check the version of the Terraform version. Can you see Terraform version 1.2.3 got installed? Okay, so to install, I'm taking the commands from the official website of the Terraform. I'm using Linux virtual machine with the Red Hat operating system. So they clearly mentioned for Red Hat, you need to use these commands to download and install Terraform. Yes, Terraform installation completed successfully. We are able to see version of the Terraform. So with this, we understood what is Terraform, why Terraform, Terraform versus Ansible, and how to install Terraform. Next one. So we are going to write the Terraform scripts and we are going to execute those scripts by using commands. Terraform commands are available. Init command, format command, validate command, plan command, Terraform auto approve command is available. Like this, we are going to use the commands to run these Terraform scripts. We are going to use the commands to run our Terraform scripts. Terraform apply. Last one is Terraform apply auto approve. A Terraform apply is used to run the script. First, to initialize the Terraform, we are going to use init. Already we learned how to initialize a Git repository, git init command, which is used to initialize the Git repository. Similarly, to initialize the Terraform, we will use Terraform init. Terraform format. Here we are going to write the Terraform script by using HashiCorp configuration language HCL, right? Indent spaces are important. So if you are not able to write the script with the proper format, then you can take the help of Terraform format command. It will adjust spaces for your script. A beautiful alignment it will prepare for your script. Once the script is prepared, script is created. Is that script valid or not? We can execute by using validate command. And we are going to do the plan to execute that script. Once the plan is done, then we are going to run the script. In order to run the script, we are going to use Terraform apply. I think here I missed it. The command we are going to use Terraform apply. Terraform apply auto approve. When you execute Terraform apply command, it will ask for confirmation to execute that script. So if you specify auto approve, then it is going to execute by default. Can you read the commands of the Terraform? Terraform init, Terraform format, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, Terraform apply auto approve. Init is used to initialize the Terraform. Format is used to format our script with indent spaces. To validate the syntax of our Terraform, we can use Terraform validate. And to execute Terraform script, first we are going to do the planning by using Terraform plan command. Then finally, to execute the Terraform script, we will use Terraform apply with auto approve. So these are the commands. Now, sir, what is the architecture of this Terraform? How it is going to execute? So the main target is create the infrastructure in the cloud platform. It can be any cloud. It can be AWS, it can be Azure, or it can be GCP. I want to create the infrastructure. Instead of creating the infrastructure manually by using GUI, I can use a Terraform, that is infrastructure as a code. I will write the code to create the infrastructure by using Terraform. Terraform scripts, how we have the playbooks for the Ansible. Similarly, we will have scripts for the Terraform. Terraform scripts you can store in your version control. For your project to create the infrastructure, we can write several Terraform scripts. Those scripts you can store in the version control or you can keep it in your system. Once your Terraform script is ready, then plan that script execution by using plan command. Once the plan is created, then run the script by using apply command. So when you execute plan, it will prepare the plan to execute that script. When you execute apply, then it is going to execute that script. That script is going to create infrastructure in the cloud. So this is the execution flow of the Terraform, or we can also say this architecture of the Terraform. Are you clear with this? Terraform script will be created. Script means HashiCorp configuration language, HCL. We will use HCL language to create the Terraform script. We will validate that script. Once the script is perfect, script is created properly with all the syntaxes, then we can plan the script execution, then we can execute that script. Once the script is executed, it is going to create the infrastructure, whatever you want. Suppose I want to create one EC2 instance, or I want to create 10 EC2 instances. That you specify what is your requirement, what infrastructure you want to create. Do you want to create S3 bucket? Do you want to create VPC? Do you want to create a database, RDS? Do you want to create EC2 instances? Do you want to create a security group? Do you want to create Elastic IP? What you want to do in the AWS or any cloud, that you specify as a code by using HCL language, HashiCorp configuration language. Once that script is created, you can plan that script execution, then execute that script. Apply command is used to execute that script. The script is going to create the infrastructure in the cloud platform. All right. Next, Let us try to create one Terraform script and let's try to execute and see is it creating infrastructure in the AWS or not. Okay, so I'm going to create one Terraform script. Terraform script files will have .tf extension. Ansible playbooks we are going to develop by using YML. So playbooks will have .yml as extension. For Terraform, it is having its own language, HCL language. So we are going to create a Terraform script file by using that. So here you can use Visual Studio Code IDE to write that script with the proper syntax. Okay, fine. Let me go here and let me create Terraform script. Script to create EC2 instance, guys. Now, so first I'm going to specify provider. So who is our cloud provider? Where we are going to execute the script? We are going to create the infrastructure in the AWS cloud. So I am using provider as AWS. What is the region? In the AWS, we need to choose the region to execute this script, right? So I'm going to choose Mumbai region. The name of the Mumbai region is AP South 1. Then, as we discussed, IAM user required to execute this script. For IAM user, we already downloaded access key and secret key. We need to mention that secret key, access key and secret key we are going to mention. We downloaded Excel na. Take this access key ID, specify that here, access key ID. Then take this secret access key, specify that secret key here. So these are credentials for our IAM user. So we need these credentials to execute our Terraform script. Then next, provider details are configured. I'm using AWS Cloud to create our infrastructure. In this AWS, I'm choosing the region as Mumbai, and IAM user credentials I'm configuring secret key and access key and secret key. Next one, resource. What we want to do in this AWS. So I want to create a resource. Resource means it can be a virtual machine, it can be a database, it can be a VPC, it can be a security group, it can be a Elastic IP. So resource. So here I want to create one instance in the AWS. So resource I'm giving as AWS instance. I'm making this as AWS server. AWS server. Now, here we need to specify details. So what type of instance you want to create? We need to specify AMI and we need to specify instance type. So do you want to use a T2 micro or a T2 nano or a M4 large? What type of instance you want to use and what is the instance ID? AMI, instance type, key name. What is the key pair that you want to use for that? Key name, and what is security group you want to use to create that instance. Security group. So security group, you can specify multiple. So I'm going to specify one security group here. One security group here. Next one, tags. So what is the name you want to give for that EC2 instance? I'm giving the name as Terraform machine, or I can say EC2 VM, EC2 VM1. So I can say that you can keep any name for that. You can keep any name for that, or I will keep it as Red Hat VM1. One Red Hat machine I want to create by using this. So this is our Terraform script, guys. So here I need to supply some values. Provider details I have configured, AMI, instance type, key name, security group, tags. Let's go to our AWS. When we want to launch one instance, we are going to select AMI, right? For every AMI, one ID will be available. That is called AMI ID. I want to create a Red Hat machine. So for the Red Hat, this is the AMI. Let's copy this AMI ID, specify this as AMI ID. So ID of the instance that you want to create. Instance type, I'm going to use T2 micro because it is a free tier. T2 micro. Key name. So already we have key pair in our EC2, right? Linux key pair is available in my AWS account. If you go to network security key pairs, so there is one key pair with a name called Linux. I want to create this instance by using same key pair. So I'm using Linux. Security group. So here you can see security groups. So there are several security groups available. You can use that security group ID. Okay. Launch wizard security group name you can specify. Okay. Now I'm going to specify this security group as launch wizard 1. Launch wizard 1 security group ID I'm going to specify. Tags. It is just a name I'm giving as Red Hat EC2 VM. You can give any name for that. It is just a tag name. So this is our Terraform script. Let us keep this script in one TF file in order to execute. Okay. So this is our first script, guys. So I'm going to create one file, sudo vi main.tf. I'm opening an editor. In this editor, I'm keeping this script. This is my Terraform script. In this script, I have written the logic to create one EC2 instance with a Red Hat VM with the T2 micro instance. Key pair, Linux, security group, launch wizard 1 I have selected. Now save it. Fine. So we have created our script. Then we can execute this script. For that, we already discussed commands. So first, we need to initialize the Terraform to execute this script. For that, we have Terraform init command. The Terraform configuration having some issue. Let's check it. Terraform validate. So unterminated string. Yes, there is some problem in our script, guys. Let's edit that. Vi main.tf. So can you see what is the problem? For the name, in the tag name, I have opened these quotes, but I did not close it. Close it. Save it. Okay, it is in the sudo mode. So sudo vi main.tf. Edit. So in the name, I opened the double quote, but I forgot to close it. Yes, let me close it now. Save this. Yes, clear. Terraform init. Now, this time it is initializing the Terraform. Terraform has been successfully initialized. Okay. You may now begin working with Terraform, trying Terraform plan to see any changes that are required for your infrastructure. All Terraform commands should now work. If you ever set or change modules or backend configuration for Terraform, rerun this command to reinitialize your work directory. It is something like a git init command, guys, to initialize it. Once it is done, we can go for Terraform format command. Terraform format command. So what is the purpose of Terraform format? It is used to format our script. Okay, fine. Next one, Terraform validate. Terraform validate. It is used to validate the script. Unsupported argument, security group. Security group is not expected here. Did you mean security groups? So we need to give that key name as security groups. There is another mistake here. Sudo vi main.tf. So the key name should be security groups, not security group, because it is an array. We can specify multiple security groups. Save it once again. Yep. Clear. Terraform validate to check the syntax. Terraform validate. Now can you see configuration is valid? Yes. We have done two mistakes. We are unable to close, we forgot to close the double quote for the name which we have given in the tag. That was the first mistake. Second mistake, the key name we have given incorrect. The key name should be security groups. By mistake, I have given as security group. I have corrected. Now we are able to validate it. Now can you see ls-l? Currently in my present working directory, only main.tf is available. Now let's execute Terraform plan. It is going to prepare the plan to execute that script. Plan got prepared. Once it is prepared, ls-l, yes, no change, no change. I have just executed the plan. Now we need to execute the script by using apply command. Currently, how many instances are available? Currently, how many instances are available in my account, guys? I'm under Mumbai region. How many instances? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See the names: Jenkins server, Linux VM, Terraform server, test TW, Tomcat server, like that. 5 instances available. Now let me execute this Terraform script. What is the command? Terraform apply. It is used to run our Terraform script. Enter a value. Yes. Do you want to perform these actions? Yes, I want to perform. Right. Creating EC2 instance, invalid parameter value. Creating EC2 instance, invalid parameter value. For parameter group ID is invalid, the value cannot be empty. AWS instance, AWS server. Do you want to perform these actions? Yes. Request ID with in AWS instance, AWS server, main.tf. What is the issue? Sudo vi main.tf. Resource AWS instance. Resource, I'm specifying it as AWS instance, AWS server. Okay, let me try with this. Terraform plan. All resource blocks must have 2 labels. AWS instance. So I'm going to specify as AWS VM underscore server. Okay, let me do cat of main.tf. Yeah, this is the script. Fine. Terraform init, initializing the Terraform. Done. Terraform format, failed to write main.tf. Okay. Sudo Terraform format, formatting successful. Sudo command I'm using. Then Terraform validate. Validation is a success. Terraform plan. It is used to prepare the plan. Yes. Plan 1 to add. Next one, Terraform apply. Apply is used to execute it. Do you want to perform these actions? Terraform will perform these actions described above. Only yes will be accepted to approve. So I'm typing yes. AWS instance, AWS VM server creating error, creating EC2 instance, invalid parameter value for parameter group ID is invalid. The value cannot be empty. Main.tf line number 7, value cannot be empty. Where it is empty. Sudo vi main.tf. AMI I have given. Instance type I have given. Key name I have given. Security groups launch wizard 1 I have given. tags. Maybe that security group not available. Let me edit it. Init Terraform plan, Terraform apply. AWS instance VM server is getting created now, still creating. So go to our EC2 dashboard, instances. Can you see Red Hat EC2 VM1 created? Can you see this, guys? I'm able to launch one EC2 instance by executing our Terraform script. Yes. So what was the mistake? Earlier we got the problem. Why we got the problem? The problem that we got because of security group. Whatever the security group I mentioned earlier, that is not available in our account. So now I have mentioned the security group name, which is already available. So with that security group, now we are able to create our EC2 instance. So with this, we understood how to create one EC2 instance by using Terraform. This is the EC2 instance which created with the Terraform script. Okay, fine. So once we come back to our location, so can you see here ls-l? So when we execute that Terraform script, it created a Terraform state file. That means if you execute the same script again, it is not going to create this instance once again. With this script, already one instance is created. If you run the same script again, that is not going to create. So you need to delete this tf state file. Then you need to execute that script once again in order to create. Now, sir, I want to create 3 EC2 instances at a time. Can I create 3 EC2 instances at a time by using this Terraform? Yes, it's very simple. We can create 3 EC2 instances also at a time by using this. Let me tell you how to do that. First, let me delete these state files which are available. Let me delete these state files and backup files. Okay. Now main.tf is available. Sudo vi main.tf. Let's edit. In this AWS resource configuration, I'm going to specify count. Count is equal to 2. That means I want to create the 2 instances at a time. You can specify 3, 4, 5, 10 also. It is going to create. Currently, if you see, the indent space is not correct. Count is equal to 3. The indent space is not correct. Let me save this file. Cat main.tf. So see here, for all these keys, it is equal to in the same line. For count, it is not on the same line. So here, I'm going to use sudo terraform format. Yes, now see the cat main.tf. Is it adjusted, that formatting? Can you see the formatting got adjusted? By using format command, we are able to adjust it. Okay. Now here I have created a script with the count as 3. Now let me execute it. So here you can do terraform init to initialize, and we can say terraform validate to validate the script. Then we can see terraform plan to prepare the plan for the script execution. Done. Now go for terraform apply. It is going to ask for confirmation. Give yes for that. Enter. Now 3 instances it is going to create at a time. Refresh. Can you see 3 instances are getting created? Can you see 3 instances are getting created? Are we able to create the instances? Yes, 3 EC2 instances are creating at a time by using this script. So what I mentioned in the script, I just mentioned count. So apply complete. 3 resources got created in our AWS. 3 EC2 instances created with the script. Okay, now I want to delete these instances, guys. Whatever the infrastructure we have created, I want to destroy that infrastructure from the AWS. For that, we have a command terraform destroy. Terraform destroy. Right? Terraform destroy. Yes, spelling mistake. Terraform destroy. It is going to ask for confirmation. Do you want to destroy them? Yes, I want to destroy. So whatever the infrastructure is created, I want to delete that infrastructure also. Now see, whatever the 3 instances created, now they are shutting down. Those 3 instances are getting shutting down. That means they are going to delete. So whatever the infrastructure you created by using Terraform, you can destroy that infrastructure also by using this destroy command. Terraform destroy command I have given to destroy that infrastructure. Okay. Are you clear with this? Now, those 3 instances are getting terminated. Yes, they got terminated. See, instance, 3 instances which we have created, they got terminated. Now, sir, when we are executing this infrastructure, it is creating state files, right? If the state files are not available, if the state files are available, if you run the script once again, it is not going to create. If you want to create them once again, then you can remove these state files and you need to execute. Then it is going to create that. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? How we are able to create the infrastructure by using Terraform? Good. Perfect. So I hope you understood. Terraform init, Terraform format, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, Terraform apply. So when we are executing apply command, it is asking to confirm with yes, right? If you don't want to ask that confirmation, in the apply command directly you can specify auto approve. So directly it is going to execute that script. All right. So with this, I hope you got the clarity. What is Terraform? Terraform is open source software which is used to create the infrastructure. It is infrastructure provisioning software developed by HashiCorp company using Go programming language. Terraform supports almost all the cloud platforms available in the market. Terraform is infrastructure provisioning software. Ansible is configuration management software. Terraform will create the machines. Ansible will manage the softwares in those machines. So to install Terraform, we are using these commands, and to run the Terraform scripts, we are using IAM user account with the programmatic access. These are the commands. And see the architecture. Terraform script is created. We have validated that script. Then we have executed the plan command. It prepared the plan. Then we have executed apply command. That script got executed, and that script created the instances in our AWS. Once the instances are created, I executed the destroy command to destroy that infrastructure. So you can create the infrastructure. At the same time, you can destroy the infrastructure also by using this Terraform. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.
The recording has stopped.
Guys, with this, you got the clarity. So you can create multiple instances at a time. Okay, fine. So tomorrow we are going to talk more